Hey all, so Sebastian here. So before the video begins, I would like to put up a disclaimer and an announcement. The disclaimer being that this ASMR is going to be a bit louder than my previous ones. I don't think it's going to be anything like, you're not going to get like ooga booged like in the middle of it. But it is going to be a tad louder, so just make sure your volume is adjusted accordingly. And the announcement, I promise I'll make this short. I have opened a Patreon. If you want to support me financially for the stuff that I do, I'll put a Patreon link in the description. You are not obligated to support me financially. Any financial support will be greatly appreciated. That being said, I hope you enjoy the video.
Right, don't know. I've come to discuss the case at hand. My deepest apologies. I was expecting to find the defense for the trial here. You definitely don't look the part. And you're not the defendant for this trial. I do believe you're lost, little lamb. I'm sure whatever bubbling bailiff out you wanted here can direct you to the gallows. You're the defense. What rubbish. You come onto the battlefield looking like that. You don't even don your attorney's badge. It's in your back pocket. Come on now. Let's have a look. I think I see the brand of a lawyer through that pocket lint. It's quite shiny too. Oh, let me guess. You just got your badge from Mommy Justice. Then you truly are lost, little lamb. Listen, there's a saying I used to hear when I was in the clink. Always make sure to brandish your colors. Do you understand? The colors of the courtroom are defense and prosecution. By not brandishing your own colors, you disgrace the very battlegrounds you spent so long working towards. Not only is that get-up disgraceful, but I'd be willing to wager your sword is dull too. You take my words far too literally, little lamb. The trial, you poor imbecile! Have you even the foggiest idea what the case at hand is about? Uh-huh. No, please. Keep going. By all means. I'm captivated by your rousing explanation. Objection! Sorry, little lamb, but that statement directly contradicts the evidence. The victim was not stabbed, as you claim, but bludgeoned over the head. My blade's efforts are wasted if this is what I'm up against today. You're hardly a worthy opponent. However, I'd like for this battle to last more than mere minutes, so I'll be nice today. Open up the court record. I'll explain the facts of the case. The victim was a man named Happy Day. He organized social gatherings and the like. He was hosting a company party when one of the attendees struck him over the head. The murder weapon was a portrait of himself. Oh, the irony. And the murderer was none other than one Mr. Gil T., who worked as the janitorial staff. If we wish to be technical, then yes, suspected. However, there is irrefutable evidence that he's the culprit. The fingerprints on the portrait, of course, plus an eyewitness. And he likes a solid alibi. Ha! You have quite the uphill battle ahead of you, little lamb. You should have taken an easier case. I was expecting a certain someone more qualified. I suppose I'll tell you the same thing I was going to tell them. You have no chance of winning this case. The culprit was the only one who could have murdered the victim. All the evidence points to such conclusions. Read them and weep. You best sharpen your sword while you can, little lamb. There's only a couple of minutes before the trial starts. As it stands, your sword is best utilized as a baseball bat.
Court is now in session. Ah, Prosecutor Blackquill. It's been a while since I've seen you in the bench. How are you doing today? As straightforward as ever. Shall I give the opening statement then?
No.
What?
I believe the opening statement should go to the defense.
The defense? Why?
This is the defense's first trial, Your Boldness. As such, they're still learning the ropes. I believe they need a bit of first-hand experience in order to grasp the aspect of the court battlegrounds. One of those aspects being the opening statement. Plus, it will show if there's any confusion about the case we need to clear up for the defense. There was a saying we used to hear in the clink. Experience is everything.
My. That's awfully considerate of you, Prosecutor Blackquill. It brings a tear to this aged eye to see this knowledge taught to the younger generation. Now, defense, you will give your opening statement.
Sometime, little lamb.
I see. This seems like a pretty open and shut case. However, I'd like to hear from the witness before I make my verdict.
If you insist, Your Boldness. The witness will state their name and occupation.
Can we not talk about jobs? I just got cut from mine since the murder happened.
If you do not state your name and occupation, your job won't be the only thing cut from you, but your head.
Mr. Innocent, sir. Executive Director, sir.
Be sure to maintain this level of enthusiasm about speaking throughout the trial. Understood?
Understood, sir.
Good. Now, did you or did you not witness the murder?
I did, sir. Is my testimony required for the court of law, sir? Yes, sir. Right away, sir. I was doing my usual rounds, checking for trespassers, spies, fiends. After I finished my perimeter check, I went to the boss's office to report. I didn't see the boss in there, so I knew he was in a secret room. Afterwards, I went and checked on him, and that's when I saw it. Mr. Gill took a picture of the boss and struck him over the head with it. There was nothing I could do. I was too late. Now I'm without a job. What am I going to tell my family?
I feel it useless to bother drawing your blade defense. As I said, there's no way anyone but the defendant committed this crime.
What does the defense find so funny? Defense!
Little lamb, you will respect the dead, lest you join them.
Sorry won't cut it this time, defense. A penalty, however, will suit just fine.
You still wish to cross-examine? Me personally, I'd stop digging the hole before it gets any deeper. However, it's been too long since I've seen a court jester at work.
Enough, you two. The jester will proceed with the cross-examination.
Yes. Corporate espionage is rampant nowadays. There are all sorts of companies out to steal Mr. Day's secrets. Everyone came to Mr. Day for party consultations. They do just about anything to get their hands on our corporate secrets.
Silence. Grasping for straws won't get you anywhere, little lamb. Evidence is everything in court. Do you have any evidence to support your desperate claim? That's what I thought. As you were saying, witness.
Yes. The very back room where the body was found. Well, it's a room only a handful of people know about. The boss used to make secret plans for parties he was planning. Correct, sir. Since I was the security director, it's my job to know all the ins and outs of the building, publicly known or otherwise. Hickleberry!
Silence. Did I not tell you to sharpen your sword, little lamb? Your theory is easily cut down, if you simply glance at the evidence. Look at the diagram. You can clearly see shards of glass on the ground. This can clearly indicate signs of a struggle. Here's a logical explanation of events, instead of desperate straw grabbing. The defendant went into the room, attacked the victim. There was a struggle and a glass object was knocked over, and as a last resort, the victim attempted to flee inside his secret room. Problem solved.
Right. Absolutely, sir.
Silence. Witness, on with your testimony.
I needed a second to assess the situation, but during the second that I was processing, the victim was killed. I apprehended the criminal, of course. He got Happy's blood all over me as I cuffed him. Put up quite the fight. Yep, put him in a coma for what he did to the boss.
For the record, the defendant isn't actually in a coma. A deep one anyway. He's been unconscious for 3 days now. The doctors expect him to wake up soon. Nothing is overkill when facing off against an opponent. 'Tis the way of a warrior. You'd know nothing of it, little lamb.
Now you two, settle down. The witness will continue their testimony.
Yes, sir. Well, it was in the contract. In the event that a successful attempt on my life is made whilst working at the company, fire the security director. Yeah, I just don't know what to tell my family. Huh? Yes, that's what happened. Why? What?
Dingle nuts! That would seem to be a correct assertion. But what is your point? Oh!
Silence. Little lad, you should think before you speak. You have no proof that the portrait removed was the same portrait to murder the victim. What? Silence. So what if the witness's statement is wrong? This doesn't prove the defendant is innocent. There better be some steel behind that. Silence. Then how do you explain the guests outside the room? If the murder took place in the office, then there should be a handful of witnesses.
The evidence does point to the murder taking place in the office. However, it makes no sense considering how no one saw it from the office window. Until further information is brought to light, I cannot confidently hand out a verdict. The defense and prosecution will look into this matter of how the guests didn't see the murder, and where the murder actually took place. Witness.
Yes, sir?
You will be allowed to go home. However, you will come to court when it is next in session. Understood?
Yes.
I expect everything to be cleared up. That being said, court is adjourned.
Oi, little lamb. Don't get cocky. You've still yet to prove your client's innocence. Evidence is everything in court. You'll do well to remember that. However, I must commend you on your swordsmanship. You've opened up a possibility that even I was blind to. Bravo. Keep in mind, though, this battle is far from over. I'm still intent on my belief that the defendant is guilty. I'll hold my blade until our next battle, and use it to cut your argument into ribbons. One last thing I wish to say, though. The way you form your arguments, the way you write from the seat of your pants unprepared for the trial in every possible way. Tell me, do you follow up to Phoenix Wright? Ha! Your hero. If I may offer some advice, never meet your heroes. They'll reinforce bad habits they refuse to change. Instead, meet someone who will teach you the proper way to ready your blade. Someone who will teach you to sharpen out your dull points. And after this trial is said and done, there's a sober shop I fancy. You should accompany me there someday. I can teach you the finer points of swordsmanship